Who are you?
Whoever you want me to be.
Don't say I never gave you anything.
It's feeling epic.
3 words. 8 letters.
I remember everything.
Hello. Welcome to Previously on Teen TV. I'm Jillian Banani.
I'm Claire Wojciechowski.
And we have another very special episode for you today, Previously Honors. We are talking all about Outer Banks Season 2.
Yes, woogity, baby.
I mean, what a ride.
Season 1 was crazy, and we just leveled up for Season 2.
We got even crazier.
Yes.
We went there on this season, I feel like.
There and back.
Yeah, we did a full circle.
Right, yep.
We have already covered Season 1 of the show, so if you haven't listened to that up, be sure to check that out. And we plan to cover all the seasons of Outer Banks before Season 4 comes out, which we still don't know when that is.
No, we don't. It's in the cooker, I guess. Hopefully soon.
We're patiently waiting, rewatching all of it. But tell us what happened in Season 2, Claire. Give us a little reminder for maybe some people who forgot, because this came out a while ago.
It did. A lot happens in Season 2, but we pick up with John B. and Sarah. They are made their way to Nassau. Everyone thinks they're dead. They're trying to get the gold back, but they are unsuccessful, so they make their way back to the OBX with the help of this new friend, Cleo, that they've met in the Bahamas. They reunite with the Pogues, who are looking for yet another treasure hidden by dead Mark Tanney. This time it's a giant gold cross the size of a person.
It's so big.
It's huge. If it fell on you, it would kill you.
The whole time they're talking about a cross, I was picturing like something smaller, and then we see it, I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
hello.
It's massive. And the reason they know about this cross is because this very spooky lady named Limbri tracks down Pope in school and is like, hey, I know that you know where this cross is hidden, and you have to tell me or I'll hurt you. And he's like, what are you talking about, lady? So yeah, that is sort of the quest for Season 2. They're trying to find this cross to get Limbri off their backs. And also at the same time, the walls are closing in on Rafe and Ward for all the terrible things that they've done in Season 1. And so they're sort of scrambling to keep themselves from getting in trouble with the law. And that's what we have in Season 2.
So much happens this season.
Yes. I mean, that was a gloss of the events of Season 2.
That was a good synopsis, though.
Thank you.
That was all the main points.
Yeah.
We are once again looking for more treasure. How much treasure is there out there in the world? I mean, yeah, yes. I know. There is just treasure hidden all over the Outer Banks. Who knew?
Which is a fairly small place, correct? Like it's a tiny, they're like, it's like an island. Like it's not huge.
Right. I mean, they will do anything to get treasure on this show. Yeah. These Pogues will do whatever it takes to get the treasure. Like, what would the treasure need to be for you to put up with all this that they're putting up with? All that running.
Oh my God.
Gunshots all over the place.
See, honestly, like, I don't know that any of it would be worth it to me, because like, if I'm shot dead, I don't have the fucking treasure. I'm dead. So like, like they're literally risking their lives almost every single time. And so like, at one point do you just say like, if I die, I don't get the treasure. So like, what am I doing this for?
I don't know. I mean, they are fighting to the death, literally, for this treasure. I guess it's at least like worth like, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Sure.
So I'm like, that's a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
If it was like $100 million, I would do maybe half of what they do. I would do the running.
That's true. I would run.
If I got shot, and like was brought back to life, basically, I might draw the line there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, what were your overall thoughts on Season 2?
Not as strong as Season 1.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of shows contend with this in Season 2, where Season 1 is successful and they're like, okay, where do we go now? And they try to go bigger and they try to top it. And a lot of times it's just like, no, like focus on what makes the show great.
And I think like what makes the show great is the chemistry between the Pogues and all our main characters.
Right.
And when we start off Season 2 with them separate, it just like doesn't feel right. Like that magic is kind of gone a little bit.
Yeah. I think the first 4 episodes when they're separated, they're sort of dragging. Like even on the rewatch, I'm like, just get to the point, like get back together. And
I know. I was like, oh, maybe I was too hard on it the last time I watched it. And then I was like, no, it was just dragging a little bit in the beginning. But then when they do get back together, and their reunion is so good.
Oh my God,
they're running. They're running.
They're running through Charleston.
And when they run into each other and see it's them, it's like such a good moment.
It is.
I mean, it's very cute.
It's slow-mo. It's emotional. They're like stunned, and it's really sweet.
It's really good. So at least like I was like, okay, the them reuniting is like a good moment. It was worth it for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought they just had them apart for too long. I mean, have it be like one episode.
Yeah, like they could have just gone back. Apparently, it takes very little time to travel from these islands to North Carolina. Like they like are there and back in like half a day on these teeny tiny little boats, and it's like how did you survive that? But you know.
I love it. I do like that we were able to see some new locations this season, like the Bahamas, Charleston.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah, a tramp steamer, and the finale.
Oh my God, yeah, that's right. It's like, what? Call it a boat.
Well, I think you have to express the bigness of the boat. But
Yeah.
no, it is fun that they go to different places. Although I do say I think the magic of it is when they're all in the Outer Banks together. Like,
Oh, yeah.
They're on their home turf. They're at the chateau. They're at these different places. Like those are my favorite moments.
I feel like we talked about this a lot on our last one, but I do love the Outer Banks of it all. I mean, it's a really cool location. They do a lot of great stuff with it. Like when we see them like on a boat again in like the inlands, like I'm like, oh, we're home.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's so pretty, and they make it look so cool that I'm like, we don't just stay there.
Exactly.
All the treasure is there.
Exactly. As we've learned, the treasure is all there. You don't need to travel for it. So
Do you think this show fell into that like season 2 slump that a lot of these shows fall into? Like I'm talking like season 2, One Tree Hill, not great.
Right.
Season 2, The OC, not great.
Right.
A lot of times these shows just like the season 2 like falls flat because they like try to do something different, and a lot of times it like doesn't work out. Do you think that Outer Banks fell into that too?
I think they do at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because as you said, they're separated. They're bringing on these new characters with like Cleo and Limbri, who is the kooky lady. There's also
the kooky lady. That's a good way to describe it.
This kooky spooky. The captain Terrence in the Bahamas, and like he's there for those episodes.
Yeah.
And so I think they do that thing where they're trying to introduce too many new people, and it's like we just want to see the people that like we know.
Yeah.
Like we're invested in these characters already. Like give us more of them. But by the end, I felt like they course corrected, as you said. They get back all together. They're back on the OBX. Like I think that feels more true to the show by the end of season 2.
And I do like that we're still searching for treasure. And I kind of like that it's like we expanded the world of treasure. Like the Royal Merchant treasure is, we don't know where that went.
Yeah.
They lost it. They had it. They lost it.
Ward sent it to Switzerland, I think. So.
But didn't Ward lose it too in the truck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the whole thing about the truck. See, so much happens in season 2 that I've already forgotten about the gold.
I like that they expand on like the lore of it.
Yeah.
And I like that we have Pope kind of like at the forefront of like this cross. And I think it's cool that they brought it into like his family history.
Yeah.
And that we find out that he is related to Denmark Tanny.
Yeah, we get a lot more of Pope this season.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a cool way to tie it in and keep it rooted in the central characters, that it's not just any gold that they're searching for. Like this is sort of Pope's family history, his legacy, and this is sort of righting the wrong that was done to his family generations ago.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, good, we're giving Pope something to do.
Yeah, because Pope...
It felt like we needed more from him,
Yes. And seeing him like be the one who's like, no, we have to go. Because in season 1, he's so cautious and so much like, no, this is a bad idea. This is not good.
Yeah.
And season 2, when it's his family, he's like leading the charge every time, which is kind of a nice change.
I like too that with these new characters that are brought in, they're brought on with like a purpose. Like they didn't try to be like, okay, we're introducing you to new Pogues.
Yeah.
You know? They're like
kids that have always been there, but you just never heard of before.
Exactly. And I feel like sometimes shows try to do that
Yeah.
and like infiltrate somebody in the main group right away, and it's like no, that's not how this works. But like Cleo, like she's in the Bahamas, but like she's not in the entire season.
No.
And I feel like she's there more where it makes sense and there's a purpose for it.
Yeah.
And same with Limbri. Like it's like there's a purpose. She's part of this cross, and then like we find out it ties to even more. It's not just introducing new characters to introduce new characters.
Yeah, they're both of them are sort of forwarding the plot along and helping things move forward in these new storylines.
Yeah. There were some exciting things this season with relationships.
Yes.
One that wasn't exciting was Pope and Key. That was just like we needed to end that.
Yeah.
That just felt so forced to me, their relationship, if you could even call it that.
Same. I mean, I never saw it between them. I never liked it.
Yeah.
Like in season 1, we get Pope being like, I love you. I've been in love with you. And it's like, but where? When? Why? Like, what?
They didn't like lay the groundwork for
No.
us to like believe this.
No.
Enough. Like if you're gonna do that, you need to like lay some groundwork.
Yes.
Don't just tell me that he's in love with her. I need to see it.
Right. You get a couple moments where he's like looking at her.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not enough to give me like actual like relationships. But they're on and off. They're like, Key is so hot and cold with him.
Yeah.
Treating him quite poorly. And I get it. Like she's figuring it out. She's dealing with a lot. But like, I don't know. She could have handled that whole thing better with him. It just, and then they end up not together. So it's all sort of like, what was this for?
And pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing lasts not very long.
No. Yeah.
And it is like in the beginning of the season, we are dealing with them too. They think John B and Sarah Cameron have died.
Yeah.
So like we're dealing with them like mourning their friend. I'm glad that they discovered quite quickly that they are alive. Yeah. I think that was good. But I do just feel like everyone, like emotions are so high. They think their main Pogue has died.
Yeah.
They like don't really know what to do, and it's like, Pope, now's not really the time to like talk about your feelings,
right?
You know, I mean, talk about your feelings about John B. Like,
right.
It's not the time to get into a relationship.
Well, I mean, but Key does that too, where like they're graffitiing the wall outside of Ward's house or whatever, and then literally they finish doing that, and she's like, "You want to make out?" Like it's so abrupt and so jarring, and it's like, again, I get it, but like maybe you should just like take a step back, both of you, and focus on like your dead friends. And
then we get a teen marriage storyline with John B and Sarah Cameron. Oof. I mean, it was just like kind of out of nowhere.
It's unnecessary. Like they're already together. They've already like risked their lives to be together rather than be separated. So like, why does he need to be like, we should get married? Like for what? Why?
Here's part of my dad's bandana.
It's so romantic.
I was like, you steal things all the time. Like steal a ring on the street of Nassau or something.
Right? Like get her something. Even like a new friendship bracelet instead of like a dirty piece of his dad's bandana.
How sweaty do you think that
was? Oh
was?
my God, just disgusting. Like I'm honestly surprised it didn't like fall off of her wrist and just disintegrate. Like it's... But it's gross.
Oh my God. And it's just like, I love their relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I think they are super cute. I just think this was unnecessary. And if you're going to do a teen marriage storyline, like, you got to lean all the way into it.
Yeah.
Like, and it just felt like it was a little bit not fully fleshed out. So I, like, didn't believe it, really.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird, honestly.
Yeah. It was a way to make their relationship feel more important. And like, we didn't need that.
It feels important. Like, she's left her family behind.
Yeah.
She's risking it all for him, you know?
Right. We don't need a fake marriage to cement that.
And I usually love a teen marriage storyline.
We know. Historic.
I'm a big fan of it. I think it's fun.
A historic Naley fan we have. But not my favorite.
Yeah. But I'm glad that they still like kept them together for the most part. Like we see their relationship grow, and they're just always there for each other. Always saving each other, running after, or running together. Just the running.
So much running.
So much running. I'm exhausted watching it.
I know. So switching gears a little bit from love and romance. Season 2 also brings us more Rafe. Rafe is increasingly dangerous, increasingly violent and unhinged and scary. but I kind of like love watching it.
Okay, me too. I love that they go full psychopath with Rafe. Like, they are not like worried about people not liking him. Because we still do.
Yeah. I'm like, he's always entertaining. Like, he's crazy, but he's fun to watch in a way.
It's like, what is he going to do next?
Yeah. Like, he tries to kill Sarah twice.
And I'm still like, oh, Rafe, you're not well. Can we fix you?
Right.
I want to fix Rafe.
I know. I think because we see that a lot of this is due to the fact that Ward treated him horribly.
Yeah.
Like, Ward is a terrible father to him and clearly, like, treated him like dirt while treating Sarah like a princess.
Yeah.
And so that's got to be hard. And you see so much of that. You see like Ward choosing Sarah over him and how Rafe is like clocking that and like registering that. So that helps. I also think like when Rose says something to Ward when she's like, you need to choose between your kids, and Rafe has always been messed up. Like,
yeah.
And so that is insight that like he's been like this for a long time.
Yeah, she alludes to like since he was like 10 years old, like that he's like not been well.
Yeah.
And I do like that they give him the backstory with that, though. Like, we understand why he is the way he is. Mm-hmm. And they give it that, like, bigger meaning. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it works. Because I think if it was just, like, he was, like, a psycho, we'd be like, what is going on here? This is so crazy. But, like, we understand it. Mm-hmm. So then we have more like sympathy for him. Yeah. And we feel a little bit bad for him and we just want him to like find his way.
Yeah.
And we're like, honestly, Ward is the biggest psycho, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, Ward's even worse than he is. Like, he just wanted to, you know, please daddy.
Right. Like, I think like with Rafe, you're like, oh, he's got like diagnosable psychological issues.
Yeah.
And I have more sympathy for that than Ward, who just seems to be greedy and selfish.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you have enough money.
Yeah.
Whatever, you're fine.
Yeah.
Sell one of your homes.
Sell your home.
That Bahamas house looked real nice.
Exactly. Like, your company's in debt, like, downsize.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
File bankruptcy, it will be fine.
Yeah.
That's my business advice. And also, I mean, let's just say it. Rafe's hot.
Yeah.
Rafe is hot. That's why we're like,
yep.
oh, hot. Rafe. It doesn't matter what you do. We still think you're hot.
After he cut his hair, we were like, woo.
Yeah. I know, honestly.
Hot goes a long way.
I do think Drew Starkey plays the character really well,
yeah.
too. I think that there's like some other actor who could have gone like too big with this role or something, and he plays it well and it's believable and it's just like an interesting character to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he plays it a little more internal than some other people might.
Yeah.
And I think we know that he's getting jobs outside of this, which like we're like, oh, like people recognize this, so we recognize that he's a good actor in this, and that we're responding to that too.
I just feel like in the wrong hands, this character could have been like such a mess.
Yeah.
So good for him. He's got that gravitas.
Yes, we love
as
gravitas.
we like to say. Not a lot of these teen actors have the gravitas. Well, they're 25. But, yeah, but I mean, teen show actors.
Right.
They don't always have the gravitas.
They don't.
Drew, you got the gravitas.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
We'll be watching your career with bated breath.
I know. I really will be.
Can I just ask a question real quick?
Oh, fine. Yes.
What happened to Rafe and Sarah's mom?
Oh my God. This is killing me the entire time while watching it. I'm like, can we please get some backstory on this? Like, it is killing me. I need to know.
Right? Because we're introduced to Rose, and it's clear that she's the stepmother because they call her Rose, and she's younger.
And she's given stepmother energy, yes. If I've ever seen it.
Honestly. But, like, we don't know, like, there's no mention of, like, oh, my mom died or she left. And if there is and we missed it, apologies. But, like...
No, I have been watching closely. We have not missed it. It's still confusing.
It's almost like the mother just never existed. And it's like, well, clearly that led to some damage with Rafe, too, I'm sure. Because he's the oldest. He would remember her the most. But, like...
But that's why I want to know.
Right. Like, what did she see? Like, my son's a psycho. I got to get out of here. What happened?
Oh, wow. That would be a wild backstory. That would be fun.
Consider it for season 5, okay?
I need a flashback or something. Like, I need something.
I just, like, Googled it because I was like, did we miss something?
Yeah.
But on the wiki, it just says, Mrs. Cameron is the absent mother of Rafe, Sarah, and Wheezy. It's been theorized that she could possibly be the birth mother of JJ.
What?
So there are, I was going to say,
Although this has not been confirmed or denied.
there are a lot of absent mothers on this show. JJ doesn't have a mother. John B doesn't have a mother.
That's
like,
true. And we don't know what happened to the mothers.
right. We
There's
don't,
no
there's just no
explanation.
moms. Right?
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I am believing that JJ theory.
That'd be fun.
I wonder though if they will explore this more like in future seasons and maybe they're like waiting on it and it's all going to be part of something bigger.
I'd be down.
I hope
mean, they're
so.
not just like forgetting about
Right,
it.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they're choosing.
It's smart enoughly written that they wouldn't
Yeah.
just like be like, hopefully no one will notice.
Yeah.
I also feel like this is a show that's pretty planned out. Of like, there's, you know, the treasure storylines are all kind of like connecting together and whatnot. So it feels like they have a larger plan. And they really don't say like anything about the mother. Which,
Right.
So that makes me think that it is part of the larger plan.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is exciting. I just got the chills.
All right.
I can't wait to see what happens. And I'm here for the JJ and Sarah Cameron being half siblings. And Ray.
Yeah.
Well, that all kind of ties.
That'd be fun.
Wow. I love that.
So, who is your overall MVP of the season?
I have to go with JJ. This was a shining season for him. This is where we really all more like start to fall in love with JJ, I feel like. I mean, we understand like his past a little bit more in season 1 and like why he is the way he is and all his like daddy issues, family issues, all of that. But like JJ in this season, I just feel like is there for everybody. And he's the one who's like bringing everyone together. And when they're all fighting and everything, he gives this amazing speech and is like, we're Pogues. We don't fight like this. Like, we don't do this.
Right.
And he's like, you've been shot. You got bit by an alligator. It's so good.
Yep.
It's like, it's so like it's funny too.
Yeah.
And I love how he kind of like reminds them all like who they are.
Yeah.
And brings them all together again. I just feel like he like really like shows his like softer side this season.
I mean, we get some really good moments of him when him and John B, after they've come back, they're back at the chateau and John B sees the tree that they carved with like him and Sarah's initials, and like him and JJ just like hug each other and they're both tearing up. It's so sweet.
I
Like,
love that moment.
It's so good.
I love their friendship
Yes.
too, JJ and John B's. Like, it's just like, you can tell there is just like a lot of love there. And I feel like those like two actors just have like good friendship chemistry for the show. So I love that. I want more scenes with them too. They just make a good pair.
Yeah, they're a good team. I love JJ and John B.
But yeah, and JJ finds the clues to the cross.
He does.
So he's also useful, you
Yes.
know. He's not just a loyal friend. A lot of times he is the one who's like not giving up and like finding the information and
He's not a quitter. He's like, no matter what, we're gonna keep going. Like, I'm gonna break John B out of prison by myself, which is an insane plan.
oh
but he's
my
like,
god, my chest was like falling out while he was doing this plan.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, I was like, this is stressful.
Yeah.
And he was alone.
Yes, he didn't have any help.
I was like, who let him go off by himself like this?
I know. You got to keep eyes on JJ at all times.
I know, that Pogue went rogue. I want a shirt that says Pogues going rogue.
I'll add it to the merch list.
Yeah,
I'm keeping a
please
running
do.
tally.
Who was your MVP of the season?
You know, I'm going to have to go with my girl Rose. I think that she is a controversial choice, but
I like it though.
I love that she is like a rich bitch who is like, I will not give up this lifestyle. I will
Yeah.
not give up this family. She is like, you know, reasonable, but also cold-blooded. Like, she's the one that says, like, right, Ward, you're going to have to choose between your kids. And he's like, no, I'm going to keep my family together. And she's like, you face reality. Like,
Yeah.
you know, pull it together. She drugs Sarah and she's like,
I know.
you know, arranges for the travel on the tramp steamer. Like, she is, she's like ruthless, but in a way that I really respect. Like, she's a boss.
Well, I love those like female characters like
Yeah.
that too. Like, it kind of gives me a little bit of like Julie Cooper energy.
Yes.
A female character who just will like do anything to get what she wants. But like, she's also super smart.
Yes.
Like, she's like, Ward, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You know? And like, she's the one who's kind of like telling him more of what to do. And she's right a lot of the time.
Yes.
So I just think she's like very like clear headed. And I like that we saw more of her this season.
Me too.
I think that was smart. She's just an interesting character, and I want her backstory.
Yeah. So I've invented this for myself, and my
Okay.
thought is that she came from a wealthy family,
Okay.
married Ward because he was successful. And so she's sort of like, I think Ward is desperate to not go back to being poor because he grew up that way.
Yeah.
And she's more like, it's not worth it. Like, she's still got her own family money. And so that's why she's like, yeah, I want to hold on to this, but like, we don't need to go around killing people.
See, I thought she like grew up poor because I'm like, why is she still sticking around? Like, these aren't her kids.
It's true.
Like, it's like, this is craziness. I feel like if she had family money, like, she'd be like, later, like,
makes
this
more
is
sense.
too much. Like, your son is killing the sheriff. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to be a part of this. I got to go back home. So I thought she was like poor. And married Ward like for the money. And then now she's like, well, shit. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah,
I gotta get this treasure.
Right. That does make sense because
Yeah.
she's the one who's like, Rafe, you're an idiot. The company's in debt. Like,
Yeah.
So she's clearly paying attention. And I think in season 1, we see a lot of Ward keeping her out of conversations or hiding things from her. Like there were scenes when she'd come in and be like, what's going on? And he would like try to keep her away from it. And in season 2, it's like, no, she's been in on this all along.
Yeah. She's really like a part of the drama.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I
Yeah.
like it. I like that we came up with Rose backstories.
Yes, we created
the Rose origin story.
I know.
I love it.
I love Rose.
Well, let's talk about the ending.
Yes.
Big ending. So basically, the final 20 minutes of this are a little wild.
Yeah.
They're action packed. That we have the cross, we're losing the cross.
Yeah. Multiple fights happening on different parts of this big tramp steamer in the middle of the ocean.
Did you look up the name of what it's
No,
called?
they say it on the show multiple times
I
that it's a
missed
tramp
it.
steamer.
I don't know why it's making me laugh.
The Coastal Venture is the name of the ship.
Well, yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll call it
I'm
that
just
from
like,
now on.
Claire has a history of looking into boats.
Yeah,
or something.
today it was like the first time I've heard this term, and I've heard it like 5 times.
Oh,
today.
no. Well, I'm very nautical.
I know, who knew?
Yeah, my striped shirt. No, but they're on this big boat, and it's just like 20 minutes of constant cutting between these different fights happening in different parts of the ship with all the Pogues.
And they lose the cross.
They
in
lose the cross,
end.
yeah.
Which is sad. We see the people who are still on the tramp steamer, they get the cross.
Right.
And the Pogues are all on a boat and are driving away. And we see Pope just kind of staring at it. But he says something like, I'm going to get it back.
Yes, he was trying to put it, I guess, on the boat, which like in my head, I'm like, are you going to put this heavy cross on that little like Zodiac boat?
Yeah.
Because wouldn't it sink it?
Again, why do you know what these boats are
You know what
called?
it
I
is?
love it.
I watched with subtitles, and so I think I see the word.
That's it. You're right.
And so when I see the word, I was like, it associates with it. That's why. I'm not.
I think you're looking at boats in your free
I
time.
don't care that much,
Yeah.
I promise.
But yeah, that wasn't a great plan, honestly.
No.
That would not have worked.
Yeah, they lose the cross, as you said.
But then in the final minute, we get this huge reveal. We see that Big John is alive.
So exciting. I should have seen it coming.
I did see this coming.
I was
good
gonna
for
say,
you.
were any of us surprised at this?
I was
Like,
the first time I watched it, yeah. And I don't know why. I shouldn't have been, but I was.
I think that ever since I watched Revenge, I'm in the business of if there is a dead dad out there or missing, they're alive.
Yeah.
So I figured Big John was alive, but it's also like we don't know when they're going to bring it up or
Right.
how it's all going to connect to the story. Like there's still so many questions. How did he survive?
Right.
He's clearly also in business with Lambry.
Yeah.
Because she's the one who goes to see him, and then that's how we see he's alive. So like, what's the backstory there?
Yeah.
Is he following what John B has been up to? Does he know he's married to Sarah Cameron? Just so many questions.
I know. I mean, I think we learn that like Limbry and John and Big John and Ward were in it together.
Yeah.
Right? Because she says, oh, you know, your dad wasn't the only one that Ward screwed over.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like, yeah, why has he's been like unwell or in a coma-ish or something? Because the guy who's like taking care of him is like, he hasn't been able to move or something for months. Like, so
Yeah.
he's been recovering in this unknown location. It's all very confusing and leaves a lot of questions for season 2.
It's a really good reveal, though. Like, the way that they did that, I thought was really well done.
Right.
And it's like, it's a great moment. You're still shocked, even if you're anticipating maybe it coming or that he's alive. You're just still shocked in that moment. Like, I did not think that's how the episode was going to end.
Right, because it ends with the Pogues are on this random island.
Yeah.
They're, they don't have anything. They're waiting basically for someone to come and find them. And then we see Limbri on her crutches walking into some island home location, and she goes and Big John is there. And
It's exciting.
It is.
I just love a reveal like that as like a season finale. It's so good. It just sets up so much for next season. It gets you excited. Oof,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Well done. Well done, Outer Banks season 2 ending.
Yes.
We love it.
We love that.
Hats off to that. Great reveal. Is it time for our as-ifs?
I think so. Let's get into it. So this is the portion of the show where we each rant about something for 15 seconds, and we have to say as if in the middle of said rant. So
We love it. Do you want to go first? Do you want to do the honors?
I am happy to go first. Put
Let's do
time
it.
on the clock, Jesse.
Alrighty. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go.
These Pogues running around the Outer Banks with cell phones charged all the time as if, like, they are tracking people's locations. That is how they find out that Sarah and them have found the treasure, but we never see them stopping and charging their cell phones. They're always just on the go. How?
I'm like shocked they don't have like walkie-talkies or something, honestly. Like, I just feel like, yeah,
don't think that would work
they must
for
be
very
losing
far.
phones. Like,
Right?
it's wild.
I know, because in season 1, they don't have the phones because the power's been knocked
Right.
out. So that's a very clever way to just get rid of that. But in season 2, like, they're running around all the time. Like, we never see them, like, stopping. They're sleeping in, like, cars and, like, where are they charging their cell phones?
Well, also, John B. remembering all the Pogues' phone numbers
Yes.
when he texts from the Bahamas was wild. I was like, no way does he have all those numbers memorized.
I would not know how to, like, I literally wouldn't be able to contact anyone.
I know.
I would be able to call only myself.
Yeah.
I could text my brother, but that's it.
Yeah,
like,
I
who
could
else?
do like my mom.
Yeah,
And,
like
like,
my parents.
Yeah.
Like some friends from like high school that I don't speak to anymore. But like, like, I don't know.
You're like our childhood friends, like still have those memorized.
Yeah, those because you had
but
to have
Because you had to.
yeah,
Yeah.
like those numbers I remember, but a lot of good that would do me.
I
So,
made
yeah.
myself memorize Tyler's phone number, so if I'm ever in a bind,
That's
I'm
smart.
very worried I'm going to get arrested and have no one to
I
contact.
have a lot of worries.
Yeah. No, but you should know at least 1 or 2 numbers.
Yeah.
And Tyler's is a good one to know for you.
In case you get stranded in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not calling you guys.
Jesse's like, I'm living my
living there.
life.
Yeah. I'm moving into Ward's home. That's
Yeah.
for sure. All right, I'm ready for my as if.
All right, Jill, we're putting the time on the clock, and you're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Sarah Cameron, who gets shot, then flatlines, like fully dies, but is brought back to life by John B's love, as if. How does that happen? Like, why didn't we have her just survive that surgery? Like, the love brought her back? The doctor called her dead. I want to be clear. I don't want her to die. Like, I was happy she survived, but it was just so dramatic the way that they did this.
Right. Because, like, she doesn't need to die.
Right.
Like, her getting shot is plenty dramatic enough.
And like having to go through this like surgery at this like
Shady man.
at this like shady place, like not a hospital. Like that was enough. But to have her fully flatlined for like a couple minutes.
Yes. Like, he is trashing that room, like, for, like, a while
Yeah.
before she, like, all of a sudden just, like, perks right up.
And then she's able to just
Hop on up.
take an hour nap, and then she's good to go. She's running again.
She's back to running.
She's
yeah.
like holding her side every once in a while. It's so funny.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how gunshot wounds work, but we'll overlook it.
You gotta love it.
Yeah.
That love is so strong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, did we do it? Did we talk about everything we wanted to? Outer Banks season 2?
I think so. I mean, we could go for hours
I know.
on each episode, but we hit the high points. So
John B. being in jail. We didn't talk about that. I
Yeah.
feel like I just want to briefly.
we should address the fact.
I just want to address the fact that he is fully in jail.
Yes.
For like a bit of time. What was the evidence that brought him into jail? Like Ward as an eyewitness?
Literally, that's it.
Like-
yeah, Ward said that he did it, and so
I just feel like there was no questioning done. I feel like the Pogues should have been like, we need to get a really good lawyer. Like, instead of trying to get him out of the jail, like, let's
Right?
just focus on, like, getting him, like, these charges dropped.
I know.
Like, just another kind of wild moment. But I do love the scene where he gets out of jail. And it's just driving and
yeah, and like the
in the
townspeople are like, "Hey, John B, you're
Free
out."
John B.
yeah, and then everyone loves John B again when they're all like on the hunt for him
Yes.
before. But
Well, he's driving through like Pogue territory, so
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think they're like, "Good to see that you could bust it out or whatever."
they're like, free John B.
"Yeah."
I love it.
Yeah.
Get me a free John B t-shirt.
What was the other one you wanted? Free John B.
Pogues going rogue.
Pogues going rogue. Okay, I'll add it
Yeah.
to the list.
We got some ideas here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just like, I was like, wow, we're really going there. Like, he's in jail.
He's in jail with some hardened criminals, like not just like he's in like county lockup
Yeah.
with like bad men and almost dies.
I
think
know.
the theme of Outer Banks is that it's children dealing with adult problems.
Yeah.
Like being put in very adult situations.
And
Certainly.
adults not caring that they're children.
Right, yeah. Absentee parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of near deaths this season, though. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had a count of it, but
Oh, next.
it's a lot.
I
That's all you
should've-
need to know, people.
Yeah.
It's a lot. You gotta love Outer Banks.
You do.
You know, the wackadoo teen show, but so fun.
Yeah.
You really never know what's gonna happen next, honestly.
Truly. I mean, I did not have, Gator Attack on my bingo card for season 2, but there it was.
That was good. I was like, that's maybe the most realistic thing though to happen.
Truly.
Like, gators are out there.
Yeah.
They're scary.
And you know what? He's running again right after that.
everyone almost dies and can get up and run right away.
Yeah.
That's the Pogue life.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed our recap on Outer Banks Season 2. And if you haven't listened to our Outer Banks Season 1 up, please be sure to do that. You can listen to that wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes. And while you are there, please remember to rate and review us, subscribe, follow. You can also follow us on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at previously on _teen TV.
Thanks for listening.